Yetis, Nick and Jack here with you from the T-Boy Studio.
On our weekly show, The Best Idea Yet, we go deep on the most popular products of all time.
Oh, and last week we went back to the most viral product from high school.
If you didn't own a Juicy Couture tracksuit, you can't sit with us.
Juicy Couture, the first business to own the most important real estate on earth, your butt.
But did you know that the Juicy velour fashion brand was started as maternity wear?
Yeah, it was actually two moms who began with $200 and a trip to the laundromat.
And then a decision by Jennifer Lopez in a music video changed those two women's lives.
And then honestly, changed fashion forever.
So after the taste of the episode you're about to get, listen to the full thing on The Best Idea Yet.
Jack and I put a link in this episode description. You're gonna love it. Here's The Best Idea Yet, Juicy Couture. Here we are in an office park in Pacoima, in California's San Fernando Valley. The office is quiet. A painted fingernail flicks off the fluorescent lights one by one. Pam, Skaist-Levy, and Gela Nash-Taylor are closing the door on Travis jeans forever.
What? Wait a minute. Before the break, we were hearing about how Travis had this huge deal they just signed. What happened during the commercial break, Nick?
Well, here's what happened. For 5 years, Pam and Gela happily created maternity clothes for A Pea in the Pod. The two companies got along like two, you know where I'm going with this. But then it came time for them to deliver designs for their 1994 collection. And that collection featured one particular pattern, gingham.
Gingham. That's the quaint, square-checked pattern on Dorothy's dress from The Wizard of Oz.
Now, Pam and Gela designed their collection using patriotic gingham in red, white, and blue. But then A Pea in the Pod decides to remix their plans based on market research. When the Travis Spring collection is finally released in stores, the colors have been changed to yellow, orange, and lime green.
To Pam and Gela, this gives country fair corn dog. It's not giving class. Yeah. They think to themselves, what pregnant person would wear this? But to their utter shock, those new colors sell really well.
It looks like the market research was right. Pam and Gela were wrong. And they take that as a sign that it's time to get out of the maternity business.
So Travis Jeans is successful for 5 years. And then one color scheme gets switched and Pam and Gela decide they're done?
Yeah, Jack, it's not just about the gingham. It's really like what the gingham represented. Pam and Gela realized that the market shifted away from their personal instincts. Once that happens, it's kind of like a baseball player getting the yips. It's just hard to recapture the magic.
It's not always a founder's instinct to paraphrase Taylor and say, it's me, hi, maybe I'm the one who's lost touch with my core customer.
But you know what? That is exactly what Pam and Gela do. They meet their remaining obligations, but then they close up the shop faster than a Spirit Halloween on November 1st.
But they're not done with the fashion business. They're just done with the maternity fashion business.
Ding, ding, on to round 2.
There is no greater hack in entrepreneurship than being a second-time founder. The first go-around is like your mini MBA. You make a lot of mistakes, but you learn from every one of them.
So Pam and Gela, they're ready to take on their next idea. And they start with the fun part, the new brand's name. Here's what they're whiteboarding, Jack. They're like, you know what? We want something that evokes freshness, bubbliness, like a fun in the sun California vibe. Like the kind of feeling that you could bite into and it would explode everywhere, like a fresh orange.
There's really just one right answer when you put it that way, Nick. Juicy.
Little do they know, Yetis, but that word will soon be spelled out in glitter on the butts of millions of people all around the world. So Pam and Gela, now rebranded as Juicy, are ready to take their second crack at running a business. But the name, that was the easy part. Now, they actually need a product.
It's a clean slate. They could choose anything. They could make evening wear, swimsuits, pantsuits.
But instead, Pam and Gela decide to jump on an emerging trend. They focus on the t-shirt.
The t-shirt?
Yeah.
An emerging trend? Pretty sure they had t-shirts before the 90s.
Yeah, they did, Jack, but let me go full Miranda Priestley for you on this. It's 1994, and the baby tee is actually coming into vogue. But even with baby tees on the rise, Pam and Gela think that there's a lot of room for improvement. Everything that they see in the shops is either too square or too man-shaped, or it's teeny tiny, made for size 0 models. No t-shirt feels like it's made just for them. It feels, honestly, like another gap in the market for them to take advantage of. So they set out to design the perfect t-shirt.
But Pam and Gela think strategically about this. They think like engineers. They come up with a framework of 4 key points of quality: fit, fabric, comfort, and color. They consider every invisible pain point you might not think about until you put the t-shirt on. Like, does the armhole fit right? Does it line up with my shoulder right? Will this fabric lose its shape after a wash or two? Each one is a problem to be solved.
And then they come out with a bunch of styles, including the 103. It's got a V-neck, sleeves that hug the shoulders, and soft cotton fabric as bright as 3 coats of nail polish.
Pam and Gela cannot wait to get their shirts into stores. This 103 is a great place to start. But they're second-time founders now with deep experience. So instead of approaching buyers directly, one store at a time, they hire sales reps, one in LA, one in New York.
Let's talk about this New York sales rep for a second.
Her name is Lisa Schaller. Think of her as a talent agent, only instead of repping actors or directors, she's repping Pam and Gela's t-shirts. She's tough as nails with a thick New York accent.
I love this t-shirt. So Schaller focuses just on selling the 103 shirt at first in limited colors and nice small batches. These small orders, they aren't super profitable, but here's the idea. They're low risk for the retailers to take on this unknown brand.
Soon, these shirts have infiltrated Bloomingdale's in New York and a beloved boutique called Fred Segal in LA, where actresses, models, and it girls shop. And as luck would have it, a costume designer from Friends.
Yetis, you look fantastic over there. That was a sample of our weekly show, The Best Idea Yet. Now go listen to the rest of the episode. We got a link in the episode description. Juicy Couture is just, by the way, really amazing. How many twists and turns go into this thing? Like, it only kind of gets crazier from here. And how they eventually sell the company to a couple of bankers while wearing mini skirts. Also, Jack, we should tell the Yetis we brought some juicy pajamas to immerse ourselves in the brand for research for the show. Now I understand why Paris Hilton wore the same pair for 6 straight weeks. Also a true story. So besties, tap the link that we put in this episode description and follow the show so you can listen to the best idea yet every week. It's the perfect compliment to T-Boy. Juicy Couture, you're going to love it. We'll see you Monday with our usual daily